bum 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 bum
Acapella, it's a kappa, acapella, legal notice. Okay, so in an effort to convince people that I haven't actually lost my mind and gone insane, I should probably make another one of these, well, let's just admit it, better videos of mine. A Simpvp video. Perhaps I should start this video by talking about my previous slideshow of a video, which I reluctantly call an episode in this series. I got most of the information in there right, except for one glaring detail. I was told that the last base that I visited was owned by a player by the name of IMMERONE, when in fact it was clearly the works of Infam0us, a very famous player. Well, hopefully now at least you'll forgive me. This information is relevant for the simple fact that Infam0us is one of the players who based at the base that I will mainly be talking about in this episode. And that base is not the one that you see on your screen right now. In fact, it is the base that was the predecessor to this base. This base obviously being Greyfell, and its predecessor obviously being Valhalla. Now, Greyfell was, and it's a very strong was, the base of MisterStrawman and many other players on the server who are now considered to be OGs based there at one point or another. And that's probably how I got the chords to this place. I was given in 2018 the chords to two famous old bases on Simpvp, and those, evidently, were the chords to Greyfell, as well as the chords to Valhalla. Now, as many of the OG no-lifers of my channel may remember, I actually got jailed on Simpvp. This jailing actually took place while I was attempting to walk in the overworld to both of these bases, and make a video very similar to the one that I'm making now about them. However, that was never to be, and so I'm making that video now. So, if you search for Greyfell on the Simpvp Wiki, you only get two results. You don't get an actual page for Greyfell itself. You have one about Burnt Trogdor, another very famous player who based at Greyfell, and you get one about DakkaDok, who it is stated that he joined Greyfell. It is also stated in the DakkaDok log that the base was also griefed by the infamous Jesus Juice. On the forum there is a discussion thread about Greyfell, in which many players request Jesus Juice share pictures or a video of the griefing or the griefed Greyfell. He promised to do this on his YouTube channel, but there's only one video present on his YouTube channel currently, so I don't know if that video ever existed or was planned to exist. In addition to this, remember Zolio, the French player who formed a griefing team on the server? Well, he also found Greyfell using screenshots in which he was able to triangulate the chords of Greyfell using a minimap mod. Regardless of that, let's talk about the architecture of Greyfell. Greyfell follows the example of many of MisterStrawman's bases that I've seen on the server. And, well, I haven't seen much other than screenshots. The only other base of MisterStrawman's that I've seen in full intact detail is Simpvp, which was shown to me by Cracky Joe. And it has a very, very similar style to Greyfell. You can see that in the small hallways and quote-unquote jail cells that run underground in this base, as well as in the remnants of the buildings that once were there. Now, regardless of this, let's get into the main topic of this video, finally 4 minutes in, or well, I should say 5 minutes in. Let's talk about Valhalla, and what it was all about. Despite all the hype, Valhalla actually wasn't that impressive, Now don't get me wrong, it was, because it had a long list of infamous players, as well as various impressive farms which fed its wealth. The players who based at Valhalla were MisterStrawman, DakkaDok, Infam0us, DeflowVesper, Skaterhan1 and IMMERONE. These of course containing 2 current admins, so you know that the players who based here were infamous. Valhalla was formed in late 2012 according to the Simpvp Wiki. However, it was only abandoned shortly afterwards in May 22nd, to be precise, of 2013. Interestingly enough, the wiki lists 2 dates, one for its abandonment and another for its disbandonment, as if there's some type of distinction between the two. It lists the abandonment as May 22nd of 2013 and the disbandonment as May 23rd of 2013. I don't really know what that refers to, but, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Regardless of this, you can see from images of me flying around the small area of one portion of the base of Valhalla just how truly vast the city is. It contains many disparate builds at different portions and different corners of a large area. Over the years, many have joined and visited the base. As you can see here, it says Lord 1, obviously a newer, shall I say, infamous player on the server. Here I'm showing a small map using my waypoints and minimap mod, which is allowed, and it was checked to be allowed by DakkaDok, so I'm good in that department. You can see how the different parts of the base are interconnected with rail, however they are very far apart. This is simply how old bases looked on SimPvP. You can see examples of this in the old base Midgard. Among the most notable portions of the base include the arena, as shown here, the large iron nexus, outdated form of iron farm, a small town with included functional gold farm, which still works to this day, a large geometric structure which I may say looks extremely good on a map, griefed castles, which at one point would have looked kind of impressive actually, and last but certainly not least, a massive, seemingly unfinished mob farm, as you can see here. Ultimately, the fate of Valhalla was the same as its successor. It was griefed by Jesus Juice in 2013, which resulted in its subsequent abandonment and quote-unquote disbandonment. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this base. I'm Lord Pasta, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.